In recent years, immunotherapy has emerged as a transformative approach in cancer care. And of that, we have a leading example, Keytruda. But the problem here is that it not only highlights the medical progress that has been made, but it also highlights that how there is the problem of unequal access of medical care in India. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and in today's session we will be talking about Keytruda, which has not only emerged as a key answer, key help in cancer treatments, but also a problem which needs to be addressed in terms of accessibility. So let us try to understand first that what exactly it is that we are talking about. What is Keytruda? Now Keytruda is nothing but an immunotherapy drug. Now when we are talking about this immunotherapy drug, this has been developed by a company that is Merck & Co, and this is very importantly used in the treatment of lung cancer, skin cancer, breast cancer and also cervical cancer. Now when we are talking about immunotherapy and drug, we also need to understand right here that because it helps in the treatment of multiple cancers, it is significant. Now the significance also comes from the fact that how it helps and how it differs from chemotherapy and the traditional treatments that exist. For example, if we talk about chemotherapy, which is responsible for directly killing cancer cells, we have Keytruda, which activates the immune system. In this context, let us move and understand first that how actually Keytruda works, and then we will be able to differentiate the other factors in a better manner. So when we are talking about functioning of Keytruda, you always have to understand when we are looking at the cancer cells, and when traditional therapies used to work, they used to target the cancer cells. But the main question here is, how do cancer cells thrive? Cancer cells thrive because they are able to hide from our immune system. And how do they hide? They hide by using PD-1 and PD-L1 pathway, which is used to switch off the T cells. Now, once the T cells are switched off, then the cancer cells will not be able to be identified by our immune system. That means if at all we are able to ensure that this does not happen, the switch off of the T cells does not happen, then we will be able to target what? The cancer cells. And in this context, this is exactly what Keytruda is doing. Keytruda is blocking this pathway. So if our immune system is able to see the cancer, our immune system will be active again and it can identify the cancer cells and destroy it. That is why how it clearly differs from the main approach of directly killing cancer cells, and here we get to see that it activates the immune system. When we are talking about chemotherapy and radiation therapy, in this the targeting is non-specific. That means other cells and other body parts are also harmed. But when we are talking about Keytruda, it is highly targeted. So that is why we get to see that healthy cells are spared in Keytruda and they are harmed in chemotherapy. And similarly, side effects are immense in traditional therapies. However, it is comparatively lesser when we are talking about immunotherapy. And over the years, we have seen that effectiveness in late stages is also way enhanced as compared to the traditional therapies that have existed. So all in all, long-term benefit of Keytruda has emerged way higher. It can provide lasting immunity as compared to the traditional therapies that exist. But the question here is, if Keytruda is such a great answer, immunotherapy is such a great answer to cancer care, to medical progress, then why it has not emerged in the way, why it has not created a wave? For that, we also need to understand that why the availability is so limited. The availability is so limited because it is highly expensive. Now the question is why? So let us look at the cost structure for that. At present, one vial, let us go back and see one vial. This is one vial of Keytruda and this costs 1.5 lakh. So if a person has to have 3 vials which are given in a usual treatment, the per month treatment goes beyond 3 lakh plus. Now this high number exists for a reason, because when we are talking about this particular immunotherapy drug that is generated, this is a biological drug. That means there is no simple chemical formula for it. And because it does not exist, the manufacturing is difficult and pricey. Another key factor here is the patent protection is with the company till 2028. That means no generic alternatives can be created. It is expected that after 2028, when this patent protection expires, generic variations can be created and prices will dip by more than 70%. And when we are talking about the complex biological manufacturing, it also comes with heavy R&D investment, which shows up in the cost. So as a result, what we get to see that it is economically inaccessible to the biggest section, especially in our country. In order to ensure the access, there are support mechanisms such as patient access programs, certain insurances coverage that can ensure that, and also government schemes such as CGHS, which we are talking from the perspective of our country. But at the same time, this lack of affordability is creating inequality, and that is why India is facing challenges. The first one, affordability crisis. We know that cancer is one of the biggest diseases affecting our country. But at the same time, the high out-of-pocket expenditure, limited insurance penetration is making this a drug impossible to buy. Furthermore, when we are talking about accessibility, it's not just in terms of money, it is also about the fact that it is only available in big hospitals that will be present in metropolitan or major urban centers, not in rural areas, and rural areas are excluded because of that. Then when we are talking about such an important drug, a parallel market, black market has been created, fake drugs are available because of high demand, and hospital level leakages are also being reported. And club that with the rapid increase in cases and the growing demand of these advanced therapies, we get to see that cost of health in India is immense, but cost of cancer and the treatment that comes along with it also is becoming impossible for India. So yes, Keytruda has emerged as a symbol of future medicine, but it also clearly highlights that the real challenge is not discovering the life-saving drug, it is in ensuring that actually that lives can be saved, it can reach the people whose lives needs to be saved. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. I am expecting the pointers of way forward from you in the comment section as well. Before I discuss them from my end, pause the video, put down the way forward that is important to ensure equality in terms of access to medical care as well. Now, when we are talking about way forward in this situation, definitely the timeline post 2028, we will definitely see more generic and biosimilar drugs coming up, but we can expect policy reforms on this side where the insurance coverage is expanded, especially in Ayushman Bharat scheme, and when we are talking about government end. Apart from that, strengthening drug regulation, because this will prohibit the hoarding that is taking place, and then promptly at our level in our country, we need to focus on indigenous research and development, because till the time we are dependent, even after being called the pharmacy of the world, this will not solve our internal problems. Now on this note, I'll be leaving you here with a prelims practice question. Let me know the answer in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.